I got a little update, not much. I was doing some sanding. I don't have a lot of light in here because the sun's down. But I went around and blocked almost everything other than the passenger front fender. You can see that big black spot. That's some of my guide coat that I put on there so that I could see where I had problems at. And little dots or spots where I've found little dings or other little, like the door there's got a little bit of shade on the back corner there. So all these spots I'm going to try to concentrate on to build up. I thought I had my quarter panel in the joint here really smooth. It's kind of hard to see, but like about where I got these dots at right there, I kind of mismarked it. It's got a little bit of a dark line right there. Kind of fades back and forth. Of course, there's stuff up here where I know I already got some damage I got to take care of from cleaning the grip rail out. Those are some spots that I want to go after. There's a mark that one there because you see the shade right there. That's the beautiful thing. Like, I'm not the greatest body person on the planet. I can weld metal together and fix most anything, but smoothing a body down is not my forte. So I'm not one of the pros that can just go ooh and feel it with my fingers and everything's all fine and dandy. So I have to use a guide coat, which a lot of pros do too. So not knocking pros, knocking anything else, just saying that that's what I'm having to do to keep up with everything. And I have not done most of the front fender here yet. You can kind of see the dark gray compared to the light gray there where I've hit it at the corner there. This door, both the doors on this car are reproduction. You can see I got a spot there. This door isn't where I'd like it to be, it's just where it's going to have to be. It's pretty close everywhere. There's some spots that didn't line up as good as I'd like. It's kind of hard to see. Down there on that lower corner, you can see it's hanging out just a hair right there. There's not much I can really do with that because of the way the door's not really straight compared to what it should be. But it's going to have to be close enough, and I'm not going to try to mud everything up to make it all happy. I'm just going to get it most everything as close as I can. This car has been in the works for, I got it in 2003 with multiple holes in every panel pretty much. So I've done a lot of work on it, but I've had a lot of stuff come up and family health issues with myself, work issues, working too much, working too little, everything in between. So trying to get her done so I can actually enjoy it while I still got use of my feet. You can see I put some dots on this area because there's a you can see the sander tan with the shade right there. It's another low spot. I thought I had it pretty much in very good shape on both sail panels because I've really worked on those a lot because I knew I had that joint apart, factory lead, and now it's got all metal in there. But I did a lot of work on those joints. Thought I had it perfect already, and obviously, as you can see, the guide coat does not lie. I do not have it where I need it to be. Now, one thing I have found, I found a review, I think it was on Eastwood's site, has these guys, these soft sanders. I bought this one, it's a 16-incher, and I'm going to buy a bunch more of it before I start getting deep into sanding real fine. I've sanded basically the primer that's on here I've had on for about 3 months now, maybe 4 months. I laid 2 coats on there of 2K primer. And I just wanted to knock it down and see where I had my problem issues or problem areas at there to get her straightened back up again. And you can see I went through to my epoxy prime right here in that spot. That's where some of these dark spots you're seeing like this, that's just where I broke through to epoxy, and obviously here. That's why I decided to go with the black epoxy on the bottom so that when I started sanding through, I'd know stop before you start getting the metal. Like, there's a little tiny shiny spot there. I went through a little too heavy, bouncing the sander off there like a fool. But hey, you know, like I said, I'm not a pro. I'm just doing the best I can do in garages, at homes. And that's probably the longest update I've thrown in a while. And as soon as it warms up a little bit more here in Florida, I'm happy that it's not hot. It's a little bit on the cold side out here right now compared to normal for Florida. But as soon as it gets a couple degrees warmer, maybe by this weekend, I'm going to shoot a couple layers of 2K back on top of here. I'm going to concentrate on these spots. Like here, it's hard to see, but I got a little low spot. I actually had, because this reproduction fender here it didn't fit very well. I mean, it lined up pretty decent with the body lines and everything, but this gap here, I still need to work on this gap because it's a little too tight now. I'm gonna have to open the door and then shave it a little bit in a spot. But I added a lot of metal across here because it just did not. The gap was big enough I could stick my finger in the hole. So I had to add a lot of metal to get it back to happy again, and then I had to fold metal up underneath here because it didn't want to go far enough up. It's still not where I'd like it to be, but like I talked about, it's got a little bit more of a gap than I really want here. But as I said, this door here is forcing a lot of issues because the door is kind of twisted. It's hard to explain. If I was not such a cheapskate, I'd probably buy another door and repaint the interior side and everything else again and try again, because this door's just got problems. But you live and learn. If you buy reproduction parts, don't wait like 5 to 10 years before you start doing final fitting on it to figure out that there's issues. Put it on and do it right away. If you're not going to be able to put it on and check it right away, you probably ought to put off buying it. I know sometimes things get where you need to, budget stuff where you're going to buy some parts, rat hole them for a while, buy some more parts, rat hole them. Believe me, I've got a whole shed full of brand new parts waiting for this car to get some paint on it for the first time in a cadzillion years. But sometimes it doesn't pay to buy them early. You might be better off going, hey, you know what? Why don't I just get some gift cards to National Parts Depot or one of the other big vendors and hang on to those gift cards instead of, worrying about, hey, I can buy this part now, I'll wait till later to buy this part. Buy the parts you can buy, or if it's stuff that you might have problems with, like body panels, buy a gift card, and when you're ready to start putting the body panels on and fit and everything, go hammer home and get them all. And then if you've got an issue, hey, let me go take this thing back and swap it out and get a different one, because it's a whole lot easier than dealing with, an ill-fitting part that you feel bad about, but you've already blown the money on it and put a lot of time and effort into it before you're figured out that you've got issues. So, it's getting a little long in the tooth here, me babbling. I've still got to do the passenger front fender and the very front of the car, the front valance and rock guard. I've got to smooth them down, and then I'm going to have to roll the car forward because, as you've seen in the video, I don't have a lot of room between the garage door. So I'm going to have to roll her forward a little bit, and then I can sand the back of the taillight panel and I'll smooth it down. I don't think I have a lot of troubles back there. Luckily, like my roof, this car, some of the people that know who I am that have been following me when I bought this car, this area right here had a hole that was probably about to there. The wife asked me what was wrong with me when I brought the car home, but she didn't understand. The car was a complete car from one end to the other. It's a true 64.5. I didn't want to let her just lay up in the wood pile and finish rotting away, so I decided to fix it. Found this roof panel on eBay back in, I think, 2004, and I bid on it, and I won it for, if I remember right, $150. And me and my buddy had to go to Georgia and pick the roof panel up. It was in the rafters of a guy's building near a body shop since, I think, 1966 or 67. The old guy told me they bought the roof for a wrecked Mustang, and when they cut the roof panel off, the frame underneath was bent really badly, so they decided to cut the roof off of another car in a junkyard and graft it on there. So they put this one up in the rafters, and there it sat. I don't know how I got it that cheap, but it truly saved this car, because without that roof panel, this car was going to be a hard case to fix, because it's hard to show because it's all together now, but literally the inner frame of the roof has several layers that are inside there. There's a piece on the inside like your interior would be up against, and then there's several pieces of boxing to make everything strong from inside all the way to outside. There's 1, 2, 3, probably 4 layers, maybe 5 with the roof. I can't remember exactly, but I basically had to get another fellow on the vintage Mustang for him, cut a piece out of a completely wrecked up car, and sent me basically the sail panel from here across the roof into the back window and down here along. Sent me this whole sail panel. I disassembled the parts he sent me and cut mine, the pieces that were rotted, cut it, kind of like cancer. You want to get a clear margin. I cut out the clear areas of it so that I could fix it all without it coming back again. And then slowly built the pieces back up inside there to get a good frame, so I don't have to worry about, if, God forbid, if I ever get in a wreck in this car, I don't have to worry about this thing collapsing on me or anybody that's riding in a car with me, because it's been put together with more welds than Ford ever thought about putting on it. So that's just a little backstory on this old rod. And I guess I'll cut her loose there, since I've had it zoomed in on mediocre stuff the whole time in my little tiny garage that I'm trying to work on this car in. Yeah, go a little sideways. Alright, well the dog's telling me to get done, so alright, bye.